Hello, everyone. Welcome to what is apparently a series now. I'm DTM as always, and we're here with another State of Fae podcast with a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, ElwindFlier?
Oh my god, I don't know about very special, but that's okay.
You're very special.
Yeah. Aw, thank you. So yeah, I am ElwindFlier. I mostly do weekly arena content at the moment. The past couple of weeks it's been Legendary Dimitri water season, so I like to show off my plus 10 Legendary Dimitri. But once I have a little more free time, I do have some videos planned for theory crafting and just discussing the state of Fae, like for modes like Hall of Forms, because I have so many opinions on Hall of Forms.
Oh, do you?
Oh, I do. So yeah. So we could even talk about that because I have opinions.
Do share. Like for me, Hall of Forms mainly revolves around just like the units you can get, and not going to lie, I've been very disappointed by the selections we have received.
That is my biggest issue. They did thankfully improve Hall of Forms by adding the ability to, on the higher difficulties, get better skills, and it's still such a struggle.
It is.
To get what you want, because even if it's a higher tier skill, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good higher tier skill.
Right, even though you have 2 B slots for rerolls, both of them could be chill attack or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's oh yes, I really wanted chill attack res on my sword unit. That's absolutely what I wanted.
Yes, the perfect skill for young Sita right there.
Yeah, I am having that. I finished the Hall of Forms.
Right,
and
nice.
I had such a hard time getting good skills on her. So I want the distant stance build, because it just builds off of sort of already what her niche is. So she'd run distant stance. I'd give her a trace skill in the B slot just to pick up for fun. And I'd also grab a range skill or attack speed menace.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid build.
And yeah, it suits her, and then picking up maybe the winter rapier just for funsies.
Just for fun.
But I keep getting these res-based skills. And I'm she has a sword! She has a flying unit!
This is just the future tease that she will have adaptive damage as her weapon refine.
My god, I hope so. I'm sure the eventual refines will be busted, because they've kind of fallen off a bit. I mean,
I remember back when this young banner was first released, everyone was freaking out about young Sita's omni effectiveness against everything.
Oh, I know. She was the meta-changing unit of the day, and now we look at meta-changing units now in Legendary Sigurd and Fallen Edelgard, and it's what were we releasing?
Not all those units. Elamine. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of meta-changing units in the recent years.
We really, this past year and a half has been really just a huge shift in how Fae is played.
Right. And even this is sort of even getting into arena, because in the old days it used to be basically all armors, right? Because those are the only units that have the highest BST. But now we have dual
plus 10 Surters everywhere.
Yeah. But now we have dual units, dual leaf, dual Crom. Oh my goodness, dual Crom.
Dual Crom is kind of a nightmare to society. I can handle him, but if I'm not prepared to counter him, then he will just rip through a team.
You use Legendary Dimitri, right? How does he do against dual Crom?
Oh, he does amazing. Even hitting a Deadeye, and I have been running Gale Force and DC on Dimitri, and if Dimitri gets buffs, he can literally take 0 damage. Even with a Deadeye proc, he'll hit. Dual Crom will hit a 0 Deadeye, and it's the funniest thing, and I love it.
Is this just the basic DC atrocity
it's
speed
DC atrocity, joint drive speed. Honestly, he doesn't need many bells and whistles. I will admit, I did, and I admitted to you before we started, I got Vital Astra for him, because it's going to be really, really fun. But he honestly is a really great Gale Forcer too.
Yeah, that was my thinking of when since I did do a video on Vital Astra. I was wondering.
Yes, go check it out, everyone.
Yes, I mentioned a meme build where you can probably get 75% damage reduction if you have Vital Astra up with Spurn, but I do not know if honestly that is good compared to just Gale Force, Dimitri.
Yeah, I think Vital Astra, it seems to be having a role in Summoner Duels right now, and that's probably where it'll be used, but Gale Force in Arena is really handy, especially if I put Flashing Blade into a seal because the speed is so high, you can just immediately, like, within a couple hits, proc a special.
Right. And yeah, especially in Arena, like, mobility is super important, so I can see Gale Force being a better option than a damaging special.
Exactly. It's just nice being able to have a unit who can do the offensive and the defensive.
Yeah, can't relate. I'm still here trying to plus 10 my legendary Lucina.
Oh, how many merges is she at now?
She's at +7. Okay.
Oh, she's close. She's close.
Yeah, she's really close, and I do plan on finishing it in July. But
awesome.
But like, I was planning on saving for a potential red Mythic share in February, where Plumeria and Reagan could potentially share. And so I decided
that plan got ruined.
Yeah, because Plumeria was on the Hero Fest, which I did summon for and got Plumeria to +9, which was thankfully a good thing. But like, when I saw that on the Fae channel, that actually like brought me down a little bit.
Oh, no, I was the opposite, because I like absolutely lost my mind, because I was like, oh my god, legendary, I don't have to like pull on like a legendary or mythic banner for the merges, and I finished my legendary Dimitri that month. So that was, but like, especially because so many people were super excited for the red color sharing with Reagan and Plumeria, because that's two really busted Astra units.
Really busted units, yeah.
Like, and you're not going to be upset, really, if you play AR, you're not going to be upset at getting either of those.
Yeah.
But IS had different plans.
Yes. And that I did like had that in my mind, but I still made the decision to stop because I did pass on like a Reagan, Plumeria, Lilina share back in like I think 2021 December or no 2020 December, and I regret it to this day. But
was that Lilina's debut?
Yeah, Lilina's debut. That was a stacked banner.
I remember that because that was right at Christmas, and they gave us tickets for that banner, which was super nice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I free pulled a Gatry.
Oh, nice.
And Brave Dimitri was on that banner, and so I pulled the other blue in that first circle, and I got a Brave Dimitri merge. And then on my last ticket, I free pulled a Lilina, and I was like, whoa! Then the luck shifts. So yeah, but like that was definitely a really like super good banner, a great introduction for Lilina.
Right. I do remember I did free pull Plumeria in with my tickets.
Nice.
But
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely amazing. But obviously I could have pulled for more, but I didn't because I was saving for Legendary Lucina, and then she got pushed back all the way to January, and then I figured, wait, this could be Legendary Lucina's remix. So I decided to wait again. I mean, this is this is how I save, right? Like sometimes the goalpost moves.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now that so many units, we try and predict, okay, are they moving to a remix banner and when exactly? And we only know so many in advance. And I know with this past month's remix with Azura, there was the talk, we may just also get Alm happening too. And no, we didn't.
Nope.
We didn't. So Alm has to wait quite a bit now, I think, until he gets his remix.
Wait, remind me who was remixed with Azura? Was it just her?
It was literally just Azura.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness. Yeah, because
the banner was so funny because we had just voted for the Brave banner rerun, and they literally just were like, "Here's all the Brave units."
Yeah, I remember that so clearly.
So I think it was all the Brave units, and then Alm was colorless. Blue was filled up with Azura and Erica.
Right.
And I'm trying to think who was on green and red, and I don't remember because I didn't pull on that banner. So I'm just like,
don't worry, I didn't pull on that.
I think Ike was on it. I think Legendary Ike was on it.
Ike was on it. I'm pretty sure Air was on it.
Well, no, Air was the month before.
Air is the month before, right? Yeah, this is how much I pay attention to these summoning events.
Yeah, like I was in for the remixes for Legendary Hector, and I thankfully finished him. He made me work for it though. Oh my goodness. I literally got an all green circle while summoning on the most recent banner he appeared on, and I didn't get a single 5-star in the circle, and I had like 9.5. So it just goes to show that like rate means nothing.
Yeah, pity is definitely a lie. Like
the pity system's a lie. It just forces you to summon more.
Right. I think I've basically convinced that it's a psychological trick to keep you to summon.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's how you get people to buy orbs and pull on these banners.
Because you can't waste this pity. You can't waste it. You have to.
And I've been caught up with that too. I'm like, well, I have a pity rate. I should pull again. Like, I ended up leaving this year's New Year's banner, I think, with like some ridiculous high pity rate, because I'm just like, I actually can't go back on that banner. It was an awful time.
Yeah, I think I remember when summoning on the Hero Fest for Plumeria, it reached like, I want to say 8% or something like that. But I set myself like a hard limit, so even though it was super painful, I had to stop because...
Yeah, no, and that's the real important thing, is actually setting hard limits, and it's something I still struggle with, and I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Because you get into, well, if I could get lucky, I can just pull once more.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get that luck.
Right. And I think...
And then you're going to be like, well, I spent like 10 orbs now, and what do I do with my orbs?
Yeah. And at least for me, like, I have a very pessimistic view of summoning, so I'm not...
I think maybe we should all...
Yeah, we really should. Like, just
I feel like the AHR banner has maybe changed that, though, because I've seen mostly a positive reception to the banner.
Yeah, same. And... I mean, we did hype it up. I'm at fault for that too. But...
No, yeah, I was hyping it up too. I'm like, this is all green. This is like, no matter what, you can like get something good.
But yeah, like normally people do not like color sharing, right? People lambast it,
hate it because you want the one unit, not all of them.
Right, but like in this particular instance, it was super celebrated, even post summoning, and even those that obviously did not meet average, it was, for the most part, still, at least from the content I've seen, still a really good haul compared to...
Yeah, I'm still watching through like everybody's videos just because I've had, life going on. Life happens, and I got other stuff to do and trying to put out my own videos and stuff.
Right.
But I want to, watch everyone's videos and support their summons.
Oh, yes.
And like for the most part, people have been hitting it pretty good.
Which I guess is to be expected given statistics, but it's still good to see.
Yeah. And it is, it's nice. I think, unfortunately, I had a friend who the only 5-star she got before hitting Spark was a Shamir.
Oh no.
And I was just like,
so bad.
Like you were in the 99th percentile, really, at that point.
Yeah.
For odds. And I'm just like, come on, like, why does it have to happen to my friend? Please.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, I had a thankfully really amazing experience with it, especially the final pull I got. Because I set my hard limit and I pulled my last copy I needed for Ninja Corn.
Yes, congrats on the +10, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, and congrats on your summons too. I was there for most of the stream and got to watch, which was very fun. And of course, you have the stream VOD up, so everyone should go and watch that.
Thank you very much. And yeah,
of course.
I mean, if I had one thing to change about my summons, I would have swapped Male Byleth with Ascendant Bjorn, but obviously, like, I'm overall really happy with it. And
absolutely. My pity breakers were only 2 that weren't focused, and one of them was a Brave Lysithia, and so I had done like a couple orbs, and I did a red orb in like one of the first couple circles, and she showed up, and I'm like, please, you're not focused, you're not even on that color.
Yeah.
So I got her and a Charlotte, and they both have good fodder, so at least, especially in green, if you got off-focus pity breakers, the green summoning pool is actually really nice for 5 stars.
Like, obviously Ascended Fjord, but also, Charlotte,
Astrid as a support unit is easily one of the best support units in the game.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, you did get Brave Lysithia, and who knows, she might get a super stellar refine this August.
She might, but she also has low speed res. I'm like, Who wants low speed res? So I'm gonna keep her for now, because if she does get a really amazing refine, then I would merge her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen it happen with Brave Alm. His refine just completely changed how he works as a unit.
Oh yes. Or like Brave Hector. Or...
Oh my god, literally, this is why we had all green units, because they're like, here's the ways to counter Brave Hector. And even then, it's so impossible still.
Right. Do you have any hopes for CYL4 refines, specifically like Brave Dimitri? I know.
I do, and I also had fellow FEHTuber Stitched ask me that for my video too, but I'll definitely expand on it here. So he needs some kind of null follow-up.
Oh,
just
definitely.
Like any. In his weapon, because his B slot is his PRF, so he can't run null follow-up unless you take off his PRF slot, and why would you take that off? Like, I don't see why you would want to do that. So if they could give him even like partial null follow-up, if he gets just something, I want them to play into his niche kind of as a tank, because he is definitely, and there's an argument to be made that he's better to build up on speed, but I would obviously build up his defense, since his PRFB skill plays off of that. You want him to have really high defense.
Yes, definitely.
So if they could add, like, plus something to stats, like, because right now I think he gets maybe like, I don't even think he gets like a plus to any stat.
I cannot remember Brave's Dimitri.
Like, he gets because he has counter attack built in.
Right.
And
the curse
that's really
of the
like the main gimmick of his weapon.
Yeah. The curse of the DC weapons back when.
It really is, yeah. So, and like, we've gotten good DC refines, so I'd love to see him with like a null follow-up, like +4 maybe to all stats, like +4, +5. And then he already has Unity in his base kit, so I'd love for them to give like just something more to, like, just to up his stats even more when he's close to allies and when foes initiate combat.
Maybe like some sort of, I mean, you can also have Unity on the weapon and just like double stack that.
And yeah, that would be good for him.
Yeah, okay. Apparently, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have any stats. He just grants special cooldown charge +1 per foe attack during combat.
Give him at least, like, even like giving him +3 defense would work well.
Oh yeah.
Like, just give him something. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
His weapon is not the worst to look at in the game. You know who really needs their refine?
Who?
Legendary Roy.
Oh my gosh.
That is the world's saddest legendary weapon I have ever seen.
It's basically just effective damage, right?
It's counterattack, and you're effective against dragons, and that's it.
That is so bad. Like,
and it's so funny when you compare like his description, because it's literally like 2 sentences, to like legendary phase weapon description, which is a whole paragraph. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He is in sore need of his remix and refine.
Yeah, it's like, really sad when like a GHB unit just completely outclasses.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Outclasses legendary Roy, and it's free to play.
Just goes to show how far we've gone.
Yeah, we've come really far in Fae. Like, and I didn't start day 1, and I don't think you did either, did you?
No, I started like, I want to say beginning of 2020 for reals. And so yeah, it's basically been 2 years of Fae, but even still.
Yeah, I'm going on 3, because I did start around the time of Naga, so it's been about 3 years for me, I think, if I do my math right. But like, it's so weird that like when I started, Naga was coming out, and now she's in line to get a remix. Yeah,
it just feels so long ago. I remember I got back into Fae because of New Year's Anna, and
that's interesting. I would never have guessed.
Well, okay, so I started playing Fae, I want to say around August 2019, but like not seriously, just like slowly going through the story. And then, like, I think a month in, OG Lucina's banner was up, and I decided to spend all my orbs on it, and I got no Lucina's, and so I uninstalled.
No!
I mean, to be fair, it was only like 150 orbs, because, again, I was super casual.
Like, so frustrating. Yeah. You're just like, this is the one unit I wanted. Like...
So I, like, uninstalled, but then I saw that New Year's Anna was a thing, and so I decided to reinstall and actually start, and I was able to get her and Dual Alphonse, and so I guess...
Right! Oh my god, yeah, Dual Alphonse is still to this day a really helpful and good unit.
Yeah, and I remember back when, like, Dual Alphonse would just, like, destroy everything, at least in PvE. Like,
no, absolutely, because he just uses duo skill, and you
win the game.
Open future, and you just cool it down immediately, and just, like, get close counter. He was a perfect unit.
But nowadays, like, if I try to do that, there's just no way. Like, even with, like, the modern units in PvE, like, it would be much of a struggle.
Exactly. It's so wild looking back at when I first started FE and how much I struggled with content. And, like, even now I wonder how people who just pick up the game now do. Because there's so many more units, and it's like, okay, but who do I decide to build as an easy free-to-play unit to start? Like, who do you pick for your Brave summon? Like, things like that. And, like, newer players can only get, I think it's, like, this year's Brave hero and maybe, like, year 4 and
CYL 4 and 5, I believe, is the only
Oh my god, and that's it. Yeah. See, and when I started, I had access to, like, CYL 1, CYL 2, like...
Yeah. I think when I started, I didn't know what CYL was, so I somehow managed to get, like, Alm and Micaiah. And I was like...
Brave Lucina for my CYL 1 pick.
Yeah, well, CYL 1 wasn't an option for me when I was starting to play.
Oh no!
Right, because they removed it, right?
Yeah, they had removed it by that point. Oh no!
Yeah. Well, okay, so I read on Reddit that Brave Lucina and Brave Ike was a super powerful combo. And I was like,
I read that combo.
Yes, this will be my strategy going forward. Back when I was like within 2 months of playing FE for reals. And and like
the real time in FE.
Yes. And like so I was constantly saving orbs until like I could pull for either a Brave Ike and a Brave Lucina. And I think I must have saved like 2,000 or something like that.
Oh my god.
Because I was like so focused on this one goal, because I wasn't playing Ether Raids back then. I wasn't playing Arena. So I really wasn't summoning, really.
Yeah, so you were just kind of like, you were able to save up orbs because you had one really defined goal in mind.
Yeah, and so like once that revival banner hit, boom, all my orbs were spent, and plus 10 Ike was a thing, along with plus 8 Lucina, so...
That's amazing, though, and that just goes to show, like, if you can get a clear goal in mind, and just be like, that's all I actually want to spend my orbs on, like, chances are you will succeed and get those units, and get the merges.
Definitely. And yeah, that would probably be my advice for those that are looking to summon. Like, obviously figure out what you're playing for, but once you do that, like, define exactly what you're going to summon for, and don't like change it once a banner comes out, because obviously it could be easy to go into the hype and all of that.
Yeah. Look at the Ascendant Marina banner. That is the prime example, and I fell for the hype, of course. I went back in and pulled a bit more and I got lucky, but a lot of people, like, I know people who threw down a couple hundred orbs they weren't expecting to throw down just because of one skill being inheritable.
Yeah, and that's
the hype it created.
Yeah, that's how IS gets you, right? And
exactly. That is exactly the strategy. They're just like, we're gonna do one crazy thing, and you're all gonna want it.
So yeah, like defining exactly when you will be allowed to summon beforehand really helps, because that obviously is defined beforehand and is hopefully more logical. And obviously you can change it, like how you enjoy playing FE changes over time, but obviously try not to do it at the start of banners, because
let's don't just justify be like, well, now I should actually pull it. I'm totally guilty of all the faults. It's learning to, sort of grow from that. And I think it is, with you saying how important it is to find how you enjoy FE, I think that is really the most important thing. It's like, what mode are you going to focus on?
Right.
If you want to do well in Arena and get up to tier 21, you are going to want to have at least 2 plus 10 legendaries.
Right.
So that should be a goal.
Yes. And if you want... to like do well in Ether Raids, you obviously spend for offensive mythic merges, and
absolutely. And that's where my goals are shifting, because I got my 2 legendaries.
Nice.
And also, there's other legendaries I'd love to get merged on, like Corrin, Cheetah, but at that point, it would just be because I like them.
Right.
They're probably not going to help my arena experience now. I've been playing FEH long enough that I have, you know, the legendaries, and I have other units built up, but it took me a while. Like, unless you're an absolute madman grinding out feathers and you've summoned a bunch of 4-stars, you're not going to have a lot of plus 10 units at the beginning.
Right. And what modes are you looking to get into, by the way, out of curiosity?
So I'm shifting over to Aether Raids.
Ooh, very nice.
So, which is like right up your alley. I have a friend of mine, personal friend, Mazarin, who's helping me out. Like, he's actually like coaching me over Discord.
Oh, nice.
What to do. Yeah. It's been interesting, and I'm like realizing like how much work goes into all of that. It's wild. I'm like, what the heck? Like, all the stuff you have to think about, like, it's insane.
Yeah, it can definitely be very intimidating to get like started in Aether Raids, especially with like team comps and how to incorporate mythics into it, because I think we only have 3 light mythics and 1 astro mythic. So if you don't have another astro mythics, I guess you'll have to run Altina if you were playing back then.
Yeah, and Altina was like the big thing back then, and she was a Hero Rises winner. Like,
yes.
We all got a free copy, and she was really good.
Yes, she was.
But she kind of fallen off.
So hard. Like, oh my goodness. I'm so glad I can replace Altina with Thor now, because like.
Yes, I am right now, because it's Ashera bonus week, I am running Reagan and Ashera.
Oh, nice.
And my friend helped me set up team comps, and the one we're running right now is like the very classic. You got Yuri in there with an AoE, you have Brave Erica.
Oh, it's the hit and run PvE.
It's hit and run, and most of the time it works.
Yeah.
But it's so fascinating seeing what the AI will decide to do.
Oh, yes.
After someone set up their team, because today we had to scoop a match because a legendary Sigurd moved in and killed the duo Peony when we thought she might be safe, because we didn't think the Sigurd would get danced, but they chose to dance the Sigurd.
Yeah, I think that is definitely one thing that can like cause new players to struggle a lot, is like knowing the AI, because that is never ever taught anywhere in FEH.
No, absolutely. Like, how would you ever learn to read the AI unless you're playing Aether Raids? And like, I didn't watch my replays in Aether Raids for a very long time.
Right.
I don't think most sort of casual FEH players do, or they just don't even touch the mode.
Yeah. And
they just like are like, I'm not going near that.
And I think like, other than looking up an AI guide, which, to be perfectly honest, I don't think is the easiest way to understand the AI. The most effective way to learn the AI is just to experience it firsthand and immerse yourself into it. But that takes a while for a player to like recognize the patterns and the behavior that keeps popping up. Like, wait, why?
Exactly. Well, and also like looking at a team setup on defense and being like, okay, which of my offensive teams do I want to run? And you really do need to have multiple teams.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's not the days of Brave Ike and Lucina anymore.
No.
Where you just tank Brave Ike, and that was my light season team comp for a very long time.
Oh, hey. Same here, actually.
It was just, and I didn't even at the time when I ran that, my Brave Ike was maybe +3, and I actually had a higher merge Brave Lucina, which was funny, because she mostly just was there for support.
I mean, you gotta soak those chills, right?
Exactly. I ran 2 chill skills, like 1 in her B, 1 in her seal slot, like. Yeah. That was her role, and Ike was there to tank, and that meta is completely different. You can't run one team anymore in Aether Raids ever.
Oh no. You just need to run a safe team. That's all you need. No.
Yeah, you run a safe team, run your Yuri and Brave Erica hit and run, and like. Yeah. But it's not every defense you come up against will fall to that, so you need to have options.
Yes. Having multiple teams is definitely something that I would recommend any new person going into Aether Raids. I'm sort of in a disadvantage in terms of team comp since Henriette is not a good fire save unit on my end.
Not like she used to be. No, now it's Valentine's Robin, right?
I think it's still either Ascended Fjorm or Brave Hector, who are like the premier fire save units.
See, and I've locked my Brave. I can change their blessings, but I have Brave Hector on my Dark defense, and I run Ascended Fjorm in Light Season. So my Astra and Anima save units are not looking too hot.
Honestly, I do actually recommend you bringing in Brave Hector if you do want to.
Mine's like some crazy high merge, just like totally not on purpose. He's like +6 or +7.
I don't know what they thought of doing Brave Hector's refine, but like he's still
like, Hector's the most busted unit in the game. No problem.
Like he's still so good to this day, 1.5 years later. Like I'm willing to bet you can clear most matches just using Brave Hector.
Well, yeah, and I ran into a couple, like both in summer duels this week and Aether Raids matchups that, people have given them Party Fighter and they don't have merges. And Hector doesn't die.
Yeah.
And he has no merges. And I'm like, how is this unit so good?
Yeah. That's future Edelgard right there.
No, exactly. Fallen Edelgard's not the real threat anymore. It's Brave Hector.
Honestly, like Fallen Edelgard is not that good in Summer's duels unless it's like a raid boss or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. There's a lot of ways you can hit her out now. I run Ninjorn, but I've had my Brave Dimitri tank her. Yeah. So like there's a lot more ways to go against her now. I just think she's gonna stick in everybody's minds for like another year at least as like this was the unit that caused so much stress and just like turmoil.
I definitely remember those days.
I was a part of it too. I'm like, how do I deal with this? Like, I don't have, everyone's like, oh, like build a Patrine, like build this, build this, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't want to build these units just to have like the counter to Edelgard. And sometimes you do have to build hard counter units. For meta threats.
I remember.
But I'm a very much type of person who wants to build their favorite units.
Yeah, same. I remember back when I did my reaction to the Forces of Will banner, I legitimately thought that Fallen Dimitri was a lot better than Fallen Edelgard on my first initial impression.
He is very good, and he's just so slept on.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that take aged horribly, like one day into actually summoning with her.
Oh yeah, the minute everyone got their hands on a Fallen Edelgard, it was done. And
but like I do think like Fallen Dimitri is actually really underrated, and
I agree. And of course I'm gonna agree because I love Dimitri, but I haven't gotten around to using him in Astra, and he doesn't fit on my team comps at any point in the AR. But I've given him like Ninja Naginata and like all these builds to run the Gale Force build on him because he's just so high in speed and will just proc Flashing Blade like super quickly.
Oh yes, and like especially with Ninja Naginata, like I like obviously I think most people slept on him because the preference weapon Fallen Dimitri had was honestly not that great. But
it's okay. It has its uses.
Yeah, but thankfully, like most of what makes Fallen Dimitri good is in his preference B, and so
yes, it's that Kanto ability is
Fire
it's the hit and run again. We saw it with Yuri, and Yuri's the kind of improved ranged version of it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Yuri is actually a menace.
And Yuri I think is still kind of slept on in. Like everyone knows Yuri's good, but like you don't see a lot of people running out to get copies of Yuri.
I mean, I ran to get a copy of Yuri when I was summoning on Hero Fest.
I summoned 2 on his debut. That was probably before my A Hero Rises banner summoning session. That was the 3 Houses and Mooseville banner. Was super lucky for me. I got 2 Yuris. I pulled a Constance and a Happy before the Spark. I also pulled a Duels and then a Dune. This is back before regular Dune was in the 4-star special pool.
I see. Oh, wow.
She was my free pull on that banner, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's super good.
And then I sparked a Mooseville, so I got very, very lucky. I fed my second Yuri to Soth for Sea Duel Infantry 4, and I have not used Soth in Arena though, so I'm like, why did I do that? Yeah, it's because Soth I had at +10, and I'm just like, he's like worth it. I really like him.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a high
Should have merged Yuri.
Yeah. Yeah,
Probably should have.
I mean, to be fair,
one copy is doing great though.
We had like no idea Summoner Duels was going to be a thing.
No, that wasn't even like a notion at the time that he came out.
Yeah, like no one would have predicted that live PvP was going to happen.
Yeah, because it's been years of fading out already, like 5 years, almost 6 years, and it's like, oh, like this won't happen.
Yeah, and like all the modes they've introduced since like Ether Raids were like what, Frontline Phalanx or something like that.
Frontline Phalanx, Hero's Journey, Lost Lore, like all these things that you can just like press a button and you're done.
Yeah, and so
I like Hero's Journey because it's cute.
Yeah, same. Like it does.
You get some nice rewards from it, but that's about it.
Yeah. Have you been playing Summoner Duels recently, by any chance?
Funnily enough, I was playing last night, so I'm now over 1,400, I think, favor points with Brave Dimitri.
Oh,
so I'm a little behind.
Going to Summoner Duels with Brave Dimitri is definitely a challenge that I really respect.
Yeah, it does it. So my team comp is him, and he runs the Stoutland Plus build.
Oh, okay. I see.
So he has attack defense unity, and he runs like the Stoutlands with defense. So he gets really high defense. He's just there to be the physical wall. Okay. And then Ascended Fiorm she's been my far save unit, but I might swap out to Brave Hector.
That's definitely like, yeah, I think like especially with Valentine's Crom running everywhere now,
I think in Brave Hector Duels, it's probably better to go Brave Hector, and then I run Ninja Corrin to run in and like hit and run Ash for warp shenanigans and duo peony, and that's like my go-to team.
Right. Yeah.
And I can get wins. I can get wins with it, and Dimitri can do things.
Yeah. And it's always great when like you can use your favorite units in Summoner Duels. Like
it really is. So yeah, I'm behind on Summoner Duels because I was a part of the initial grind. Like everyone was like, God, you gotta get the like max favor points, you gotta get up there, and I was just like, I was into it, and then I took a break. And I just kind of go back now and then. And I play Summoner Duels R and Summoner's Duel S.
Okay. Obviously not the most well-loved mode, but I'm glad you're, I guess, playing and enjoying that.
Yeah, no, I enjoy like just regular favor battles. Even if I lose, I'm like, these are kind of fun matches. And it's fun to see like really different team comps.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'll obviously get like all the classic ones that like what was the team I ran into last night, and I was very proud of myself because I was able to get them to surrender.
Was it like Yuri,
I think it had like
Dual Dagger?
It was like Brave Erica, Duo Dagger, Harmonized Azura, and I was able to stall it out and get the win, and I was like, this is like satisfying.
Yeah.
This is satisfying.
Yeah.
No, I think everyone like looks at Brave Dimitri and they're like, funny joke, and I'm like, he's actually very tanky.
Yeah, especially with like Stoutlands.
Yeah, Stoutlands. He has noontime, so if someone hits him, he gets instant noontime.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'd eventually like to give my +10 Brave Dimitri Ruptured Sky just to trick him out a bit more, but he needs the heals.
Yeah, I think having a sustain as a tank is really important, especially in a mode, I guess, like Summoner's Duels or something like that.
Yeah, so he does good. What about you for Summoner Duels?
I mean, my normal favorite battle team is OG Lucina as the captain, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, and she actually does put in work.
I've seen some great OG Lucinas.
Yeah, but especially if like all the a lot of the enemy unit is taken care of and she just needs to tank. But other than that, I have Henriette as my far save option, which is not the greatest, but it works.
We make do with what we get.
Yes. I have Dual Peony as my dancer because obviously, and then
one of the best dancers to this day still.
Yes. Harmonic Azura might creep in there, but I still really like Dual Peony. And then Alm and Brave Erica are basically my carries. And
nice. I'm assuming that's Brave Alm, right?
Yeah, Brave Alm. Not OG Alm.
I mean, Legendary Alm may make a comeback.
Maybe if he gets a good remix and refine. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I can see like my I don't really use my Brave Alm much. He's +1, but like I wouldn't be surprised if even just a +1 Brave Alm is like just hitting hard, doing good.
Honestly, Brave Alm got like the biggest 0 to hero treatment I've ever seen.
Yeah, he really did. That's how I see it too.
Literally went from useless to a god of like just slashing down enemy. Like I don't fear any near sabers, any fallen Edelgards, anything with Brave Alm, as long as he can outspeed, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the time he can. Like,
yeah,
he can do really good. He is the only unit from that batch, I think I've given a refine to.
Mm-hmm.
I technically have Brave Micaiah refine, but I picked up her Forma Soul, so I never actually had to spec 2 on it.
Oh, I did the same actually.
Yeah, so those are the 2 I have from that batch with their refines. But I really think Brave Alm was the winner. I think Camilla's kind of slept on. I think she actually got a really
I genuinely do
refine.
think as well. Because, like, Camilla, I know someone with, like, a +10 Camilla with, like, Return Plus and everything. And her gravity effect is super strong. And
yeah, she's really, really slept on. I've come across +10 ones in Summoner Duels, especially, like, early Summoner Duels days, and I'm just like, oh my god.
And especially now with Divine Codes 3, Return Plus, you can just spend codes for, and you don't have to summon for Sarah. And so that just makes her
so
easier
nice.
to build up. And Camilla is basically like Legendary Claude, except a healer, and can be run on all seasons, at least in Ether Rays.
Exactly, yeah, you can switch out the blessings, whereas Legendary Claude is limited to Earth or like a bonus season.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I definitely do think Camilla's very slept on. Who else was in that batch? There was...
So that was also Eliwood. Eliwood, I think... Eliwood also, like, they all had, like, good refines.
Yeah. I think Elwood...
I just think his... Is it the weak? I'd say Micaiah might have been the weakest.
Probably. I think the problem with, like, Elwood is that he was completely overshadowed by Brave Erica.
Oh, he's in such a dominant class. It's so hard to stand out. And now you have Brave Erica, who just showed up as a lance cap and just did everything better.
Yeah. And yeah, I do think Brave Micaiah is still a really good unit, especially with the auto follow.
Oh, she's a great unit, yeah.
Yeah, but I think of the refines, she definitely, I think, got, I guess, the least from her refine compared to the others.
Yeah, like it didn't change the fact that she was good. Mm-hmm. Like she's still good, but it also didn't like catapult her into, you know, sort of
Brave
like
Hector
dominance that it did for Brave Alm.
Right. And yeah.
Exactly like you said, Brave Alm went from 0 to hero.
Honestly, I never thought a Red Sword Infantry could do that, but I guess...
we've gotten some crazy Red Sword Infantry sets, like Brave Marth.
Yeah, I mean, Brave Marth is an option. I mostly know him for being distant pressure fodder. Sorry, Brave Marth fans.
Yeah, I have like a plus speed minus attack copy that I'm keeping, but I'm part of me's like, someone, maybe a Dimitri wants distant pressure, maybe. I'm like, So I have the neutral copy from a Spark.
Okay.
That I just he comes out for like Arena Assault, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's just so hard to stand out as a Red Sword Infantry, I feel.
Oh, it really is. It'll be interesting to see how Merida does.
Yeah. And
in the coming months. And like I'm not even like Galzus I know is not gonna stand out. Galzus is fodder through and through, unfortunately, and I feel so bad for the Galzus fans who like
it's really tragic. Yeah.
Yeah, like not even a PRF.
Like he, and hearing the stories about how he's supposed to be like one of the toughest units, like
he's like it's like with Abel. The same thing happened with Abel. Like Abel and Galzus were like apparently like some of like the best units in ratio 776, and then they show up in Fae with no PRF weapons. Like these are really like.
Yeah.
Abel's kit is honestly more tragic.
It really is.
Galzus at least has good fodder.
Yeah.
You look at Abel's kit, and she has Guard Sword Plus and Attack Defense all 3, which we now have on Karen. So
yeah, Abel is just so bad. Like I don't even know how to revive her somehow.
She breaks my heart because she seems really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, do I merge her? What do I do? Like, she doesn't necessarily have fodder I want to use either. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing I wish for, I really hope that Brave Crom, does not become a Red Sword Infantry.
Please, give him a lance.
Yes, or maybe like make him inspired by Emmeryn or something. I saw really.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that though. That would be so great.
Yeah, I think it was Pretty or something or someone like that. They did like an amazing concept art that I just absolutely loved, and I think it would be I think it would work so well thematically.
I know Pretty did a Theorycraft banner that was based around sort of Exalts, and you had a duo, Lissa and Crom, and that art was done by Ken May, and that art is just super good. So that might be what you're talking about. Now I really want Staff Crom.
Yes, do it.
Staff Crom. I said Lance because, of course, he can use Lances in Awakening in this promoted class, and it ties to Brave Lucina.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, Staff Crom, and that gives him the color variety.
Yeah, and I don't think we've had a colorless Crom, so I feel like this would
actually be perfect.
Yes, and it would be so much more unique than whatever they'll do with either Red Sword Infantry Crom.
Or even like a Lance Infantry Crom. Yeah. Like as cool as it would be, it's not very unique.
Yeah.
He's been a blue unit before, he was a blue bow.
But yeah.
So I'm thinking about all the other units, because if we look back, and I love Brave Dimitri, I love the Brave Three Houses characters, but their choice in design and weapons is so disappointing.
Same. So disappointing.
They did absolutely nothing original. They just gave them the sort of the I can't remember what they're called.
It's not like time skip alts. I mean time skip costumes. It's
they're literally the time skip overlord.
Right.
Outfits
Yeah.
They're promoted class.
Mm-hmm.
And then their weapons are weapons you can actually unlock in their routes that you have to spend a lot of resources to refine and stuff.
Right.
And then Lysithea, I do like that Lysithea got Dark Spike's Tea because that's her niche.
Yeah, and that definitely fits thematically.
And it does. And I don't know why they had to make her red again. They could have done a blue Dark Spike's Tea or a green Dark Spike's Tea. But
yeah, it was so disappointing creative-wise. I wanted a mage Edelgard. That was my one thing.
That would have been great. I wanted sword or dagger Edelgard.
Yeah. That would work. That would work too. Yeah, because she has
Edelgard can wield the sword of Saros, Saros' sword. So you could have easily done that. Dimitri could have wielded a sword too. You could have had Claude wielding an axe. He has a hidden talent in axes. You could have done an Elvira inspired look for Claude. There were so many options.
Disappointing, honestly.
And then we had the following year, and it got a little bit better. Everyone liked Brave Erica because it's inspired by Ephraim.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know a lot of people kind of poo-poo on Marianne, but I liked that she's a colorless tome, and I liked her outfit concept.
I personally picked Marianne as my free pick because I don't know why. Brave Marianne got such a bad rap on release, but
people were not happy with the art. They weren't happy with the special, and they just need to watch your videos to see how good it is.
Yes,
they literally
Brave Marianne is so good.
No one thinks about how important that she can be an offensive unit and also provide a dance as a non-dancer.
And providing that 2-for-1 trade up is so good.
Yep.
And one that does not
damage reduction too, doesn't she? She has insane damage reduction.
70% damage reduction when she
actually busted.
Yeah. And I think it's just because people compare that to Dual Peony and you could just run Dual Peony or anything. But I don't think a lot of people understand the flexibility that Brave Marianne provides, because you don't have to worry about dual hindrances and things like that. And for the most part, the gravity restriction does not matter, at all.
Yep.
But
you can still make great use of it.
Exactly. And Gale Force is definitely where I found so much fun with her.
And she's just, I didn't have any issues with the art, and she's a fun unit. Yeah. And good, and I'm happy for Marianne.
Yeah.
Just the character.
I like the concept a lot. This is my Marianne fan coming in, but she we
love Marianne here, okay?
Yes, we stand Marianne, but no, like in the games, like she was always ashamed of having the crest of the beast and believed it was like the curse from the goddess. And here in this Brave Vault, she's like no longer ashamed of it, but is like being empowered by it, is accepting it and using it.
Yeah, and she's accepted, like, you know, this is a part of me, but I don't have to hide that.
Right.
I, you know, give help to everyone, and I am worth that.
Yeah,
and
this is not a curse. This is something to be proud of, and I love that so much.
Yes. And that was, so I was happy. I was more happy with this recent year's CYL and how they did the designs. Like, everyone thought Gatekeeper was going to be a lance unit, and then they made him a green tone, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my, that weapon animation is so good. I still love it to this day.
So, like, going into next year, like, an off, like, you know, the beat path, like a staff crom would be so good.
Yes.
I'm just like thinking like Seliph maybe wielding like a tome to like reference Julia and Deirdre.
That would be so cool.
That would be really nice. And then for the women's division, like obviously Tiki has to be a dragon.
Yeah.
Like it's, her weapon type is a little more restricted, but they could, you know.
I think it could be really creative with the actual weapon, like the weapon effects.
Yes, exactly. They could do so much for her.
Mm-hmm. Especially if they like base it off of like the Future Past DLC and her ascending to be like the new Naga. I feel like that would be so cool.
Yes, that would be amazing. And then female Byleth, I think, is the one they're going to be the least creative with. They obviously cannot do the legendary design. They can't do her, you know, enlightened one.
Right.
But I could see them going maybe, you know, her like dressed kind of like Rhea as like the leader of the Church of Saros.
That could be something that they could do. I personally wouldn't like that because I personally like Violet more as her own character instead of connecting with Rhea.
I do too, absolutely. But I just like that to me would be their direction.
Yeah.
I'd love though if they brought in. So how many have you played all of 3 houses or at least?
I have played all of 3 houses.
Okay, good. Me too.
No worries.
I played it a lot. We like 3 houses here. We do.
We stand 3 houses. No slander here.
No, exactly. And any route you play where you are obviously against Edelgard, Rhea will leave you the Saros shield.
Oh.
So if they could bring that kind of in like a special, maybe like a special for her to like reduce damage or something.
Yeah, like a preference, like negating Fang, sort of. But
like a preference like that, or like a preference assist somehow. Tying that in, that could be interesting. But like, I do agree with your point that it is better to have Byleth be her own person. So maybe they'll go and make her, you know, like Geralt.
Maybe that could be cool actually.
It'll be like nice and really sentimental, and you know, have her commenting how you know this is a way to be connected to her dad still.
Yeah, they could definitely like put in a lot of like story into that. I actually really like that concept.
And see, I like, you know, like brave heroes like, you know, Ephraim wearing his dad's armor, Hector wearing his brother's armor, because it gives so much more like world building and story and looks at them and how they personally feel about those situations. Yeah. But when you get 3 houses Brave Vaults where they're just in their default outfits, you don't get that world building.
Nope, not at all.
You get nothing, and I love them. I love Brave Edelgard and Brave Dimitri and Brave Claude and Lysithea. But we could have had so much more.
We really could have. Honestly, such a missed opportunity. But
it really was, and like we'll see what they do if, you know, to segue into the potential kid banner.
Oh yes.
There's a lot of talk that it could be 3 houses.
Yes, and young Dimitri, young Edelgard, I could definitely see that happening. I hope you have the Orbs for that.
I don't, but you know what? We'll manage. We'll manage. And I think they're the likely duo. Like, there's a lot of, you know, are they going to be a duo dagger? Like a dagger? Sorry, I'm now confused. Dagger and dagger. And
no. We all know what you're talking about. Yeah. Dual dagger units.
Yeah, they're like a duo dagger, but like a dancing unit because, you know, Edelgard in the story taught Dimitri how to dance.
Right. Yeah.
So you could do a lot of fun things with that. Just don't let them be blue or green, okay? Like,
yes, we need red. Red, please. Like, we need to expand the color palette of these three houses swords.
So, I mean, like, they're an obvious pick for a Three Houses Kid banner. You would then likely have, like, a Baby Claude, like, Baby Violet, maybe, like, Baby Hubert as the TT unit to go with Edelgard? Like,
I could actually see them doing that if they have a Three Houses Young banner.
Or you do both the Violets and one of the Violets is the TT unit.
I could already imagine the salt that will happen if that happens.
Oh my god, if we get... There's going to be salt regardless.
I mean, I guess that's true if it's three houses, yeah.
You know, you're going to have all the fans who are really happy and excited, and you're going to have, like, no, it's three houses, and it's like, we actually haven't gotten as much three houses lately.
Yeah.
It has slowed down a bit.
Just a bit, but it has slowed down.
Exactly. You know, and my other pick for potential baby banner is Gaiden, / Shadows of Valentia, because they did have their anniversary.
Yeah, and they already have kids in the game that they can pull.
Yeah, they already have the kid designs versus Three Houses, I think, only has Dimitri and Edelgard to work off. And that hasn't stopped them before, but the past kids banners have all fallen onto anniversaries.
Right. Well, there was speculation before the Valentine's banner that this young banner would be Awakening, because this is the 10th anniversary of Awakening.
Just watch them do it anyways.
After the Valentine's banner, we already have Chrom and Lucina alt. Oh, here they are again. Please wail more.
I mean, we just we had the Valentine's banner, and then the Bunny banner showed up, and it's like, oh, look who's there. We got
Henry
and
Tharja.
More Awakening.
This year is the year of Awakening. Mark my words.
I think it will be, though, because maybe this is how they'll incorporate the 10th anniversary, because I think Fallen Chrom is a very real possibility. And then we have Brave Chrom, and
Brave Tiki.
There's so many other units who haven't gotten in yet,
Laurent, I think, still hasn't gotten in.
Laurent, Rickon,
Vike, for whatever reason.
Teach? We need Teach?
Yeah. We don't have Gregor in the game still.
No, that's crime. That's actually a crime.
Actually, I'm so sad he wasn't in the most recent Awakening banner.
I was okay. I was really happy to see Basilio and Flavia, and I think the only unit I just was on was Priam, and that's because I never got Priam because I never played through the map because I'm this is awful and I don't enjoy this.
Don't blame you there. Also, his weapon was not that good either.
He has good fodder.
That's true. That's true. He's the Galzith of the Awakening banner. Except not with a sword.
Except literally Priam at least got a PRF.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they put in Gregor, that would So I think we are going to be seeing a year of Awakening. I think we're going to get a lot of Awakening alts.
Please, Awakening has been starved for alts for so long, so
it really has until the new banner and then Valentine's. There was a big gap.
Yes. I'm still really mad about Harmonic Mia, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, everyone, we want Summer Lucina, and IS said we have Summer Lucina at home.
So sad.
Literally, because they were the first Harmonic.
Absolute first, yes. They introduced Harmonic units as a thing,
and the concept is cool.
But
and
as a Lucina fan, it stung a little, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's not Lucina.
Yeah.
Lucina.
Yeah.
And she's not the lead, it's me as the lead.
Yeah.
And it just, Awakening is, I think, getting the attention it deserves. I am a little surprised that our recent banner was Gracia.
Yeah. I mean,
and not Three Houses, so it makes me wonder what they're saving Three Houses for. Maybe
for Three Hopes. Yeah, Three Hopes.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet. What?
It makes me kind of sad because as much as I want another Dimitri alt, and I will absolutely pull for him, I want base versions of other characters before that.
And IS is just going to release those alternative outfits as alts in FEH.
Oh, of course they are. That is such if they don't, that's such a missed money-making opportunity.
And I honestly
how can they not do it?
Right. And maybe that's why, like, this recent Thracia banner was Thracia. They want to save 3 houses for July or June.
I think that's a real big possibility. I think we might see that way, which makes me sad because then I have to wait even longer for, like, Sylvain, Felix, and Dorothea.
Dorothea being in double alt hell. So sad.
Please release her. Release her from the hell. I mean, look at Charlotte, though. Charlotte had, a bridal alt in the first year? And,
for, like, 5 years or something like that. She finally was free.
I think it's, like, four and a half years.
Yeah.
Like, stupid. Like, and she got in and she's good, which is amazing, but it's just, like, can we not have that with...
Let's not do that again.
Like, and then there you have Zane also stuck in alt hell.
Oh, yeah. And Indigo, surprisingly.
Yeah, what the... he is one of my favorites from Awakening, and then Laszlo from Fates. And, at this point I'm not going to invest in base Laszlo because infantry sword and older.
I actually do think Laszlo is one of the better infantry swords, but... He got
a very fun refine.
Yeah. But again, like, even with a really good, it's still hard to stand out.
It's very hard, yeah. Just, like, give us base Inigo, please. And, like, base Sarah, like, come on.
But yeah, before we end it off, do you have any final thoughts on potential alts you would like to see? Or, like, any units you want in the game that haven't been in yet? Any time.
I have a couple answers. Well, first of all, for alts, obviously, like, any Dimitri alts.
Fair.
I'm easy to pick, but my, like, I guess you could call it my unexpected is I want a either legendary or ascended Takumi this year.
Oh, Takumi.
He is one of my other favorite. Like, he was like, I played and finished Fates first. That was my first, like, full Fire Emblem game.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Birthright, and I love Takumi. He is one of my absolute, like, I will try and make him good units in Fae if I can.
Yeah, that's getting hard as the years go by.
It's very hard, and he is stuck as, like, all colorless units, so I'd love to see him get legendary ascended, or if he got an alt, it would be on the ninja banner, so he could use the sword.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be a great pick for that.
Definitely.
And then units not in the game that I want include from Fates, Sophie and Kiragi.
Sophie would be such a good addition, actually. But...
Sophie would be great. I know they'll just make Kiragi a bow, but, like, he's my son.
Yeah,
so, like, obviously.
Fair.
Sophie is for sure my most wanted, and then my 2 other picks are Kent and Sane from Fire Emblem 7.
Okay. I haven't played Fire Emblem 7 yet, but those are the Christmas calves, right?
They are the Christmas calves. They are, like, Lynn's Christmas calves,
okay.
And, like, it's such a crime they're not in the game yet.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also a crime Marcus isn't in the game from FE7. Yeah. That's like... What?
Speaking of FE7, I'm surprised, what's Marcus? I'm surprised Marcus hasn't been...
No, that's what I'm saying, is, like, how is Marcus not in this game? Like, easily one of the most memorable and best Jagan, like, typical units.
Yeah, honestly... So many units still left that are fan favorites and still haven't been here.
Those are my wants. What are your wants, though, before we end out? I want to hear yours.
I mean, obviously, I'm down with any alts of Lucina, Edelgard, Micaiah. But other than, like, those standard options, I really actually want Mitama from Fates.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Get us her, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Mitama is so good as a character, and I really like.
She's so funny.
Dwyer, I also want in Fae. Obviously, I want the
kids banner.
I think a good kids banner from Fates would do really well.
Yes.
But other than that, I guess a Gen 2 banner of Awakening, just finishing out that roster would be nice. And for units that are, like, not completely in Fae yet, like, anything from the Dawn Brigade would be greatly appreciated, IS.
Is it the Dawn Brigade? No, it's not. It never will be.
It's more Micaiah and Soph.
It's Micaiah and Soph and Zelgius, and that's all you get.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh.
BA Radiant Dawn actually made such a hilarious observation that if the Dawn Brigade do go into Fae, they'll be like super busted, which is like the exact opposite of how they are in game.
That's so funny though, because at this point, any new units we get like are just like almost automatically good if they're a 5-star. Right. That's the crazy thing about the state of Fae.
Yeah, and
so the Dawn Brigade will be busted and better than their base versions in the game.
Oh yes, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. This has been an hour-long discussion, but honestly, I had so much fun throughout this entire thing, and I hope you did as well.
I did too. We talked about a wide variety of things, and it's been amazing. So thank you so much for having me on.
It was my pleasure. And yeah, and for all you all watching, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to like, subscribe, not only to my channel, but to ElwindFlier's channel as well. She is absolutely amazing FEHTuber. Again, does arena content and summoning content as well, and a bunch of other stuff like that.
Arena's kind of the bread and butter at the moment, but once I finish university classes, I will be expanding out a bit.
Yeah, so be sure to subscribe to keep an eye out on that. You definitely don't want to miss that. And yeah, this is just DTM and ElwindFlier signing off. Hope you all have a great day, and see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye now.